Hi everybody, this is Craige with the run-up to Kaizen Adrenaline 2023. Today I've got a very esteemed karateka, Sensei Aidan Trimble. Give everybody a wave, Aidan.
Hi everyone.
For those who aren't familiar with Aidan's work, we're going to introduce him and what he does today, and get you guys hyped up for what's going to be delivered at Kaizen. So introduce yourself, Aidan, and tell us all about what you do.
My name's Aidan Trimble. I do Shotokan karate. I'm an 8th dan, and I run my own centre in Nottingham. You'll probably hear them in the background because there's a class going on. That's it, really. I've done a bit of chopping and a bit of kicking in the past. I'm sure we'll get into.
Yeah, more than a bit. A quick Google search sort of throws everything at you. You've got quite the history, mate.
All right, thank you.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a karateka myself, so I'm really excited actually for the karateka that Kaizen's got. It's probably got the best representation for karate that it's ever had for a single event. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. How long have you been training for then?
I started in 72, 73. Got my black belt in 77. First represented England 78. I was about 17. I was a big lad for my age. Fought in many open comps and association comps. We won the Europeans in 78, the team in Germany, and then I competed. I won the SKI World Championships in Tokyo, 83, and various other titles, and I represented the All-Stars junior under-21s and the senior team and the Great Britain team as well. So, and then injury and various other things sort of unofficially stopped me competing in kind of the late 80s, but I did come back and do a few comps when it was somewhere nice into the 90s. So yeah.
So you sort of you're part of what people consider the sort of golden era of karate. You know, that sort of 70s through to early 80s period.
Yeah.
Do you think much has changed in the way that karate works from then to now?
Yeah, it should change. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's going to die, isn't it? So it's not all bad. Some of it's bad, but yeah, I mean, it was a golden age. I think everybody has their time, don't they? I mean, we were kind of on the shoulders of giants, really, from the 70s.
Yeah,
like your Tiki Donovans and your Terry O'Neills, who were the first time they beat Japan, the first time they won the Worlds and things like that. But then in the 80s, I think Britain really did rule the world in competition karate, definitely. So I think it was always my opinion, but I think kind of in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, they kind of got it right. They were quite thin mitts, although there were mitts, so you weren't getting teeth marks all the time, mats and so on. But like most things, I think then it went a bit too much the other way, and the mitts started to get bigger. They seemed to get stricter on the contact. It was kind of a bit of a bloodbath at one time, and then it got sort of just right, quite a bit of contact, got a few injuries, but then it went, people started playing to the rules a bit, so I'm hoping they're going to kind of get that balance again.
Yeah, well, I think you've got there's like more modern organizations, like you've got, is it Karate Combat? They're quite a cool thing. They're trying to find that middle ground at the moment, aren't they? With the contact. I think that's a bit more It's a bit more showy than I personally would like, but they're trying to work towards that rule set.
I think the only thing with that is it does show, though, but the likes of Agiev, when you see him fight, I mean, he is an
Yes.
amazing fighter, he's a Shotokan base, and he, I remember seeing him getting hit in a competition. He's amazing to watch, and he's down and holding his face and stuff like that. Then you see him in the combat thing, and they're knocking 10 bells, and there's blood flying everywhere, and he's not flinching at all. So, do you know what I mean? That's what happens. It happens in every sport, if you like. They go on about rugby. I mean, my son's a full-time rugby player, and they always laugh at the footballers. You know what I mean? But there's the rules. It's the rules in rugby. They won't stand for it. The footballers, they're not a load of wusses. It's just that they're going to play to the rules, aren't they? And that's why it's so important to get the rules right. And that's probably what happened in the Olympics a bit. I mean, everybody was going mad. They're
Yeah,
quite.
it went a bit balmy, didn't it, in the Olympics? Yeah.
Well, people were surprised at how well it was received. I've spoken to a few people and they said it was really well received by the public and so on. But it all got judged on one fight, didn't it? When a blind gets hit and ends up winning a world title from being knocked out. Well, that's what kind of spoils the job. But so the rules are a big part of it, really.
It did say it a bit, but it is one of those things, I suppose. So you've got a class on just behind you at the moment. So tell us a bit about you setting up and sort of building up to having, your own.
I started. I started my own association some time back now. It was about 87. I had a bit of a fallout with the group I was with, and and I was professionally teaching around quite a bit, albeit on a low level. And it was the catalyst of a few things anyway. So I left, and the only choice was to sort of create my own group. So I did. I created the FSK, Federation Shotokan Karate, and I was doing a lot of traveling and teaching up and down the country, and then abroad. I was traveling, through Europe and the States and amongst other countries. And most weekends I was away teaching, and the idea was that I got to a stage where my kids sort of got older, so I thought, now's the time I'll open my own place, and then I won't have to travel so much, so I opened this place and I ended up traveling more to support this place. So the plan didn't quite work out, but I mean, I'm lucky. I've got a nice, it's like 150 square meter training area, got a nice lounge area and changing rooms and so on. So it's very, very busy at the moment. I'm not really sure why, if I'm honest. I've had this conversation with a few people, but I think after the whole lockdown thing, people just went crazy. And I've got a massive adult section and kids, and I'm touch wood, I'm very pleased. But I haven't really changed anything, so I don't know. But I'll enjoy it while it's happening.
I was going to say, enjoy that fortune while it's there, mate. You've got something really good to build on if you're busy, mate.
Yeah, that's good.
So, what kind of challenges have you sort of encountered then? Say in setting up your own organisation, and also in setting up your own space.
Well, I think I was young and dumb probably is the wrong way to say it, but I just did it. You don't really think of, and I just played it by ear. I got some seniors that came with me, and it was great. I turned down a lot of champions. We travelled the world, juniors and seniors. I entered lots of comps on that side of it, but it kind of curtailed my competition career, because I got quite a bad injury in my shoulder and a few others, but I could have continued, if I'm honest, but I just couldn't do the two things. So that kind of curtailed that. Well, I'm not that fussed, to be honest with you. I mean, I kind of achieved what I wanted to achieve, but all the time you go to a comp, especially when you're younger, wish I'd have entered that one or this, you know. So I kept getting dragged back every now and then. But when you have a 2 or 3 year gap, you're never really on form, you know. But when they're paying for a flight and so on, geez on, right, I'm ready. So yeah, I mean, and this place, yeah, this was a challenge because it was kind of a derelict building, really, and it was an old 100-and-odd-year-old building that was they used to do hump in a number. So it's got like blue plaque on the front and stuff. So that had its challenges. It still has its challenges, you know. I have a leaking roof while I'm sitting here.
Oh dear.
So wait, roofer to come and sort that out. But that's the. I mean, when people ask me, oh, you know, it's amazing. I'd love my own dojo, and it is. It's fantastic. But there's a hell of a lot of responsibility with it. You know, sometimes I miss the fact of just walking out of a leisure centre and forgetting about it until the next time you came back. You know, but yeah, for all the challenges, it's worked out well. I think we're in our 17th year now here. So yeah, and as I say, busy, and it's a busy old part of the city as well. I'm very close to the university, and in fact, I teach at the university now as well. They get me there to teach. Well, it's one of my students who's teaching when he was a kid, Sonny Roberts, who took over the competition side at the university, and he got me in to do the traditional side. So there's kind of two different clubs, but it's one now, and they win the books, the university championships every year for quite some time now. So I'll be going to the books in a couple of weeks' time. You know, they do really well there. You know.
Cool.
But I'm too old. It finishes too late at night. I want to be in my bed. But for now, I'm still going, so that's all right.
Nice. So, have you done many events like Kaizen before? You know, like a multi-style sort of open event, or is this quite a new experience for you?
No, I did the Martial Arts Illustrated one. In
Yeah.
Is it Stoke? Is it Stoke? Did it? I can't remember now. And I did that because there was virtually no traditional karate. I mean, I hate the word traditional, it is karate, but anyway, there was nobody there of that ilk. There was a lot of other stars and so on, and Bob Sykes asked me, and I thought, well, that's that's a challenge. It'd be nice, to see, and it was good. And to be honest, one of the other things I got, got to meet Bill Wallace and have a good chat with him, which is what I wanted to go, and I did get the chance to sit down and have a good chat with him. And he, in fact, came on after me on the course. So yeah, that was good. So and I've done courses with multi-styles before, way back in the day. So I've always found it interesting. I like to see what other people are doing as well.
Cool. I think you'll have you'll have a lot to see actually at Kaizen. They have got some fantastic guys. I know there's a lot of guys that were there last year that will be there this year, and I think I'm excited for the whole thing. I love all that stuff.
That it's around the corner from me, so that's relatively, so that's a good point.
So what can we expect on your match then? What is it you're planning on delivering?
Well, I'll try and give a kind of a general class, but I'll try and do something that's a little bit advanced. Maybe some sweeps and takedowns and stuff like that, which what I like. I don't know whether other people are doing kata. I might leave that to someone else because I think it's an hour slot. So bit of flashbang, hopefully, and people will go away with something to work on. That's the idea.
Awesome. So we've got other karateka there as well. Are you going to be jumping on their mats? Are you going to be getting involved in the event and that as well, or?
Well, hopefully. I have no idea. I've never been here before, so I'll get there and have a wander about. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure I'll catch up with a few old friends there. I'm sure there'll be a few I know. So yeah, should be good.
Fantastic. All right then. So let me have a think. I haven't really planned out much else to ask you, really. I'd say if you've got any sort of piece of advice that you could give yourself 20 years ago, 30 years ago, what would it be as a martial artist?
Get a pension. No, I've been pretty lucky, really. I think I speak to a lot of people and they've gone, I wouldn't have done this kind of thing and I wouldn't have done that. But I've been quite good. my hips and my knees are still working properly because I kind of changed the way I kicked. So I've been lucky that way. I wouldn't change anything. Advice to me, just go on it. And I've always kind of done that. Just take every opportunity that comes your way, really. See what happens. That's the key.
Superb. Well, for everybody who's listening in, Kaizen 2023 will be taking place at the Rushcliffe Arena. It's on June the 11th, if I remember right, which is a Sunday. Whole thing's going on for the entire day. Do you know what time you're on yet, Aidan? Have you
No,
that itinerary?
He hasn't told me yet. I haven't had no itinerary, so I suppose there's plenty of info's gone round, isn't it? And I'll be sharing it on Facebook when I get it. So hopefully people can book on it. I don't know how it works. They book on for the day, do they?
Yeah. So you basically purchase a ticket for the entire day, and it's usually a case of people will wander around and float to whichever set of mats is catching their attention. Yeah.
Good, great.
So yeah, like I say, it should be a really interesting one. I attended my first one was last year. As an attendee, and this year I'm supposed to be coaching on it, so I'm terrified. I've got giants like yourself on there, so it's a lot to work up to.
Well, I look forward to seeing you there.
Wicked. All right. Well, thank you again for your time, Aidan. And
you're all right.
Yeah, I will look forward to getting on your mats at the event.
Good. Look forward to seeing you there.
And yourself, mate. You take care.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.